Hey everybody, wake up. This is Wake Up with Mark Joyner, episode number 47, and today we'll do a little tongue-tied. Today we will discuss the conspiracy to make men beta. Is there a conspiracy to make men beta males? Is it necessarily a bad thing? Let's address that first. Is it a bad thing to be a beta male? Well, I guess it depends on what you want, right? If you are content to play video games in your room and to go to sleep at night, knowing that there's a nagging feeling inside of you that you are not really living up to your full potential, and that you wish, you dream, you could be someone different from who you are. And the way you deal with this is you anesthetize yourself with food and distraction, as we have discussed a few episodes ago. If you are content with that, then maybe it's not such a bad thing. Maybe it's okay. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not here to judge you. Okay? Your happiness is your happiness. Your path is your path. Mine is mine. It's all cool, right? Depends on what you want. Personally, I am not content to live my life that way. The only thing that brings me contentment, I have found through lots of struggle and trial and error and attempts with some of the things that we're going to be discussing here that did not work out so well. I have found that the only way to have contentment for myself is to push myself to be better and better and better all the time, and to face my demons, to face my struggles, to do the greater jihad, as they say in Islam. Probably offensive to some people. We can find wisdom everywhere, can't we? Okay, remember, there's the lesser jihad and the greater jihad. I'm not a Muslim, but as I understand their faith, the lesser jihad is the fighting part. The greater jihad is the battle inside yourself. This has been echoed throughout many, many different religions and cultures, right? I think that's the Grand Rite that we all have. Are we going to be the best versions of ourselves? Are we going to do what we really need to do? I think that there are reasons for that. And I think, by the way, this ties into making you alpha or beta. If you are not fighting that battle, you are going to be beta. Now, what are the consequences of that? There are women out there who say that they actually like beta males. I question it. Maybe they do. Maybe they're cool with it. But I think on some level, most women, and by the way, every man, every woman, everyone is different, okay? And I'm speaking in generalities here, and generalities will never cover the entire truth. But if we are to generalize about male-female relationships, I do think that a woman wants a strong, self-assured man who is clear on his path, who can provide and protect. And I think that if she doesn't have that on some level, she is going to feel uncomfortable around you. I think that's the truth. That is what I've experienced. Having gone from that whole spectrum, I was raised to be very weak. In the heart of liberal California, I was inculcated into that ideology of just be sensitive and all that stuff. All right, and that's cool, right? I mean, in some level, like, hey, I endeavor to be a compassionate dude, right? I want to see more compassion in the world. I want to see us try to understand each other more. But if that comes from a position of weakness, I think that there are some terrible, terrible consequences. Men, I don't think you're going to really attract women, to be honest with you. Point blank. I'm sorry. Maybe some women will tell you it's okay, but I think you get a sense that that's not true. See who they look at. See who they pay attention to. See who they're actually attracted to. Watch the behavior. Don't listen to the words. Okay? I think that's where the truth comes out. The other consequence is, if you're just a sensitive guy who is not being sensitive and compassionate from a position of strength, if you're doing it from a position of weakness, I do believe you will turn into a passive-aggressive little monster. All right? To be blunt. Posted about this on Facebook a little bit yesterday. I think that is the consequence of not reaching into your true strength. Okay, I think that's the truth. Okay, now, is there a conspiracy to make men betas? Well, let me point out some things that are happening. Some of them may be on accident, some of them may be on purpose. Some, in fact, are on purpose. Okay, there's no doubt that some of this is on purpose. All right, what's some of the stuff that we can observe that's making men beta? Well, a lot of the food that we eat is making us weak. Okay, go down this rabbit hole. If you have not explored the connection between what you are putting in your body and whether or not you are getting strong or weak, it is a very worthy thing to spend your time on, because it is going to have huge consequences on your life if you don't get it dialed in correctly. I promise you. There are lots of things going on in our environment. There are lots of social influences. There are trends in society now to tell us that masculinity is toxic, and some of this is deliberate. I'll give you a very, very clear example of some of this being deliberate. The American Psychological Association recently put out an opinion paper. So the American Psychological Association or the American Psychiatric Association? One of the two. They put out an opinion paper saying that traditional masculinity is toxic, and amongst the traits that they listed were Stoicism. Stoicism is now toxic masculinity, right? So what does that mean to be Stoic? Well, if you look at the history of the philosophy of Stoicism, it basically means understanding that life is hard and facing the difficulty of it and enduring it, right? Facing the struggle rather than trying to run away from the struggle, facing it and dealing with it. And there are some wonderful benefits of that philosophy. Personally, incorporating Stoicism and the enormous memeplex of ideas that make up my collection of philosophies that make up my current identity, my constantly evolving identity, Stoicism is there for sure. Why? I think there is a lot of benefit in hardening yourself, making yourself face what is difficult. In fact, I think this is the thing I've come to realize over time. I endeavor to make myself stronger as I get on through life. I endeavor to face the difficulties, and I have found that is where I find my inner peace. I found that avoiding these things does not give me any inner peace at all. Now, you might say, well, if it's the APA, aren't those guys the professionals? Don't they know? Shouldn't I not question the experts? These guys are the ones who've been studying this their entire lives. Well, that's what it appears to be on the surface, but let me tell you the truth. Okay, the truth of the matter is that these are human beings just like us, and they are slapping labels on phenomena that we don't frankly understand. And I suspect there may even be an agenda behind some of this stuff. Okay, I can't know if there's an agenda, right? I suspect it because I see the evidence of it all over the place. There appears to be a coordinated effort to be pushing our minds in particular directions. All right, whatever the reality of that is, let us ask whether or not we should allow authority figures to determine our truth. Should we? Should we? Well, let's look at this from a persuasion lens. It is a heuristic, a shortcut that we use to navigate the complexity of life. If you followed what I've spoken about in Simpleology, the complexity gap, this is this gap between how much information we can process and the enormous volume of information that is exponentially being added into the info stream on a day-to-day basis. We must have shortcuts. There are models of persuasion that discuss this. All right? And looking to authorities for guidance is sometimes a wise shortcut. Somebody has figured it out, and they've spent their entire life looking at it. Why not listen to them, right? It makes a lot of sense. But some people are using this dynamic deliberately to mess with your head. I promise you that. I'll tell you how I know that, because as a guy who's written books about marketing and has consulted for people across the spectrum, there are people who understand this phenomenon very deeply, and very deliberately exploit it to persuade you. I promise you that. It's a disgust thing, okay, and it is intentional. Are people using these authorities that we have right now? Are they using the news media and the alleged experts that appear on the news media to persuade you? Are they doing that deliberately? I don't know. You go down that rabbit hole on your own. Is the American Psychological Association or Psychiatric Association, are they using their position of authority to persuade you for particular agendas? I don't know. You go down that rabbit hole. But here's what I can know. Again, these are humans slapping labels on things, all right? The APA puts out this document called the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual. We are now on version 5, I believe. In version 2, homosexuality was listed as a disorder. Okay, every version that comes out, we have new labels and new definitions and entirely different opinions of things. So if just a few versions ago, a gay man was sick, well, now they're trying to tell us that a masculine man is sick. Think about that, okay? Think about where you are forming your opinions. Are you forming it from observing yourself? Or are you forming it from listening to outside sources? Are you forming it from observing reality? Or are you forming it from listening to the words that people utter to persuade you in a particular direction? I think these are extremely important questions to explore and ask ourselves. Now, I have been a single man for the last 7 years, and on that path, I have learned a lot. I had to go back into the dating world and realize that I didn't know how to do it. I used to, but I forgot and I kind of lost my way. So I went and I had to explore these things. Fortunately, I know a lot of guys who were able to help me with this stuff on a lot of levels. What I've done is I've put together a video explaining to you guys the most powerful stuff. Any men watching this, if you want to know what those things are, you can go to this URL. Go to simpleology.com/Mars Venus. Simpleology.com/Mars Venus. You can see how to spell Simpleology right there. Put a little / on that. The word Mars, Venus, all lowercase. Mars like the planet, and then Venus like the planet, all together one word. Okay. What I have there is a blog post about a summary that we put together of the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I have some very strong opinions about it. When you get that summary, you will also get that 25-minute video of me explaining to you those things I have learned. Hopefully these things will be useful to you. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm here to share with you information that has worked for me. That's it. I don't have any business telling you what to do. But I do feel a sense of responsibility of sharing the things that I have learned that have empowered me. Because I know if it helped me, I can prevent someone else from suffering. That's what I'm interested in. If you're a dude who is suffering with his relationships and maybe even is in a relationship that's a little bit broken, I think that what I have to say on that video might help you a lot. Help me tremendously. All right, you guys, that's it for today. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. You have a beautiful day.